All right. All right, so I wanted to just talk about objections and hang on just a minute. I never did it for my computer either, and I'm never the one running it, so I'm really. Nope, I didn't do it. I'm trying to figure out how to mute everybody. Do you know how, anybody know how to do that? I know you can mute yourself, but I think I can mute. I don't know how to do it. Oh well. All right, so I just wanted to talk to y'all about objections that we face as stylists, objections that we've all given at some point, and that not necessarily, some of them are from our customers, but like things that we say and that things that get in our way. And so I just wanted to start out with objections in sales and how to overcome those, and especially in the slower months. Like some people, January, they're killing it. Like you can't even tell it's January with their sales, you know, and then some people it's a little bit slower than other months, you know, what they're used to. And so, so for like objection number one, we might tell ourselves no one's buying, no one is ordering from our website, no one's buying any stock. It's after Christmas, you know, no one is wanting to spend any money right now. And so I think that we just have to kind of take a step back and see what we're doing to get sales. So like for me, towards the beginning of January, I was still on Christmas break. You know, I really wasn't doing anything as far as like working my business goes. I was posting on Facebook and social media here and there, but I really wasn't like reaching out to customers and really working my business. So you just kind of have to think about like your customer types. Like we all have different customer types, and not every customer is the same. So we have those customers that shop online that aren't afraid to, you know, order from our website. We have those customers that like to buy from our stock, who maybe wait till the last minute and need nails for an event or a trip or something that weekend. And then we have customers who kind of sell hop and they might hop from stylist to stylist, just shopping the sales. And so you kind of have to figure out what you're going to do to reach each of your customer types. And I know like whenever I first started in the beginning, I didn't have a whole lot of online shoppers, you know, like people just weren't ordering online. And so I really had to establish a customer base first. And so I knew that I couldn't expect people to buy nails from me if they've never even tried them, you know. And so I really had to hustle and get out there and put samples on people. And so other ways that I've built my customer base is through samples, through bulk orders, through stock, and parties. And we'll get to parties in just a minute. But that kind of brings us to objection number two. Well, I don't have enough money to invest in stock. And that's the case. That was me in the beginning too. Like I'd already invested some of my money whenever I bought the kit, and I didn't want to use my personal money, you know, to invest in stock. And so I knew though that I was going to have to hit that particular customer group that likes to shop stock. I knew that I was going to have to figure out a way to build it up. So one way that I did that is through a bulk order. And so what I did was I had my samples on hand everywhere I went. I offered them on social media. I offered them in person everywhere I went. And I would have a catalog too. So if they liked the nails, they could pick out nails that they wanted. I could offer them free shipping. So I just wrote down what they wanted. I offered a bulk order on social media, offered free shipping that way. And then I turned around and I placed that order under a party, that big bulk order under a party. And then when I closed that party out, I was able to get the host rewards and able to build up some of my stock. And so then once that I once I placed that order, and this is what worked for me personally, because some people, like Color Street for me, it's a side hustle. Like the extra money is great, but I don't need it to help me pay my light bill. Like it wasn't something that I needed to use that money right then to pay a bill. Sometimes it's like that and we need the extra money, we have to use it. But for me, I was using it as a, like in a bigger picture. Like I was seeing, hang on, now let me look at this. I want to make sure that people are able to find the Zoom. But I was I was seeing like the bigger picture, what I wanted out of it in the long run. And so I knew it was going to take a little bit of money to make money. So what I decided to do is I opened up my own separate account just for Color Street, because I needed to be able to see what I was spending, and it was just easier for me to do it that way. And now that we have the portal, I guess it could be, we wouldn't really need that. But so anything that I made, any nails that I sold in my stock, any commission went to that Color Street account. And so I knew that I didn't want to like dip into my personal money anymore to buy stock or anything for my nail business. I wanted to only use what I made from Color Street. And so everything went into that account. And so I turned around and I would buy stock with that money that I've already made. And I'm not saying I used all of the money. I would take a portion of it, buy stock, and leave a portion of it to, hopefully start building up. And so after a couple of months of doing that, I was able to build up my stock and then also be able to use what I made from Color Street to help me pay bills, to help me, pay my car note. And it really didn't take very long to get to that point. But I know sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes you need the extra money right then. But that was just one way that I was able to overcome the obstacle of not having the money for stock in the beginning. So then objection number 3 that we might face sometimes is back to parties. No one wants to book a party. I'm having trouble booking parties. And I know that we've all been through this at some point, is trying to get people to book a party, have a party for you. And so I've found that anytime that I'm asking people to book parties, I've done it several different ways. I've reached out, I've posted on Facebook, if you book a party, then you'll get this, some kind of incentive. And I've also reached out to customers and said, I know you love the nails. Would you like to host a party? But what I've found that works the best is anytime that you're talking to your customers and you are already having that conversation with them, that's the time to go ahead and drop and mention that to them that you think they should host a party. So if they message you or something and they ask you about the nails or want to place an order or something like that, you can say, well, I know you love the nails. You should try to get some for free so that you can, and you can host a party. And so I found that I've had more success doing that than I have just messaging my customers kind of out of the blue and just asking them, would you host a party? Some of them do say yes and they want to do it, but then sometimes it's better just to ask when you're already in conversation with them. It just makes them, they're more likely to do it for you that way rather than just reaching out to them, kind of out of the blue. And then let's see, objection number 4 was, okay, you've had a party, you got somebody to host a party, finally, you did all the work, and you got somebody to host a party, and their party's at 0. And this happens to everybody. You'll have those parties at times on Facebook that are at 0, and then you'll have those parties that do awesome, and you never really know what the outcome is going to be. But a lot of it comes down to the host. And you do have 2 types of hosts. You have your very active host, and then you have your host that's not so active. but it really makes a difference when you have a host that is commenting, is reaching out to her guest, posting pictures of her nails. That really makes a huge difference. But sometimes you have that and it's that, their party still doesn't do good. And so I think that if you do have a party like that, I've seen where if you add another stylist into the party, maybe your upline or somebody, you can add me if you want to, and that stylist starts commenting on some of the posts, then they are more likely, maybe some of the guests will see it, and maybe they're more likely to comment and participate, and it's more likely to show up more too on their newsfeed if there's participation going. So I've had it before where I had a host that tried so hard, and she was commenting and she was liking and posting pictures, but her party doesn't do good. And so I did end up giving her an extra set of nails from my stock, just because you could tell she was trying, and she, wanted her party to do good, but she couldn't make people, buy the nails. And so, but if you have a host that's like just not doing anything and not commenting and not participating at all, obviously wouldn't give them any extra, but sometimes you have those hosts that are interested in becoming a stylist, but maybe they wanted to host a party first to see how they did, and then it didn't do good. And so I know I have ran across this problem before where someone was really interested in becoming a stylist, so they wanted to host a party first to see how their party did, to see if they'd be good at it. And so what happened was that in my case, the girl, we had her party, and she had a couple of sales, but it wasn't a qualifying party at that point. And so she was like, I just don't think that I'm going to become a stylist. And so and at that point, this was, I guess it was back in the summertime, and I had not heard of this idea that I'm about to tell you. I actually heard this just a couple weeks ago, so I haven't had a chance to try it, but I thought it was pretty genius, and I wanted to share it with y'all. So what this person did, she had a host who wanted to become a stylist, and she was like, my party didn't do good. I don't think I'm going to do it. So what she ended up doing was telling her host that she could pre-sell her kit. So, you get 10 strips in your kit. Well, she pre-sold them so she could have the money to buy her kit without being out any money. So she sold hers for, I think she said it was $15 a piece, but she made it she called it mystery grab bags because you don't know what strips you're getting in your kit. But she also included a nail file and then some samples in her grab bag. And so that's why she charged $15. But if she sold all 10 sets, then she would get, her kit completely paid for, including shipping and tax. And so I thought that was a great idea because she went into that group, she went to her party group with her guests, and the host posted, I really want to become a Color Street stylist, but I need your help. This is what I have. She offered the mystery bags, and she said they're $15 a piece. Will you help me become a stylist? And she said people were buying left and right, and she sold all 10 sets. And so because people wanted to support her more than they wanted to support somebody that they didn't even know. And so it's not really a reflection of them. Their party is not a reflection of them and how they would do. It's more of a reflection of them just not really caring enough to support somebody that they didn't know. But once she said that, hey, I want to become a stylist, they came out and they supported her. So you could do it that way. If you didn't want to offer the grab bags with the samples in it, you could just offer the sets of nails and sell them for $12 a piece, and you're not getting your entire kit paid for with shipping and all that included, but at least you're getting a big portion of it paid for. And she said that she also offered this to another host, and that host didn't sell all 10 sets. But she did sell like half of them, maybe. I don't remember how much exactly. But and she still became a stylist, and she had, half of her kit paid for. And then when she became a stylist and she got her kit in, she posted the remaining 5 nails, and she was able to sell them that way. And then another tip too is, whenever you do have a party, to have the host create the group page. And then when that host creates the group page, if she does decide to become a stylist, she already has her VIP page set up that way. Nikki, I know you were talking about doing that. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but did y'all ever figure out if you were able to transfer yours to your new girls?
Yes, she did. She got it set up. I'm not for sure exactly. I think I had to delete myself as the admin, and then she was able to go in there and change things. I'm still on it, but I'm not admin anymore. So once I took myself off as the admin, then it worked. She was able to do what she needed to do.
Well, that's good, because if you do create the group, you're still able to remove yourself and let her become the admin. So that's good to know for future reference, because I think that's a great idea. If you already have those guests added and they've already been buying, why not turn that into your VIP group? You'll have to let us know how it works out for her too. So that's all the objections I have as far as sales goes. And then EJ is going to cover objections like with time, like whenever you just have a ton on your plate, full-time job, family, and things like that. So you ready, EJ? I think you're
okay. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not as prepared as you. So, but no, I'm just going to give y'all just a little bit of background on me. So I currently work in sales. I work for a company, Herff Jones. We sell scholastic supplies to schools. So I inherited the state of Mississippi, I guess about 5 years ago. So I travel about anywhere from 800 to 1,200 miles a week. So I'm super, super, super busy. And then my husband, he is in sales also. He's a general manager at a car dealership. And those hours are quite crazy. We have 3 kids, and they are 12, fixing to be 11 and fixing to be 9 here pretty soon. And they are, as you know, if you have kids that are that age especially, they are doing everything. They are all into sports. My daughter is the youngest, and she does, if we're friends on Facebook, I post about them all the time. So she's into competitive gymnastics and competitive cheer and basketball. And my middle one, he does baseball and basketball and soccer. And my oldest is, he has Asperger's. He is highly functioning, but we definitely have some challenges with that as he is getting older. But he loves basketball, and he is in the band at school. But him having special needs, we are constantly on the road. His doctors are about 60 miles from us. So we are seeing doctors about every 4 weeks and seeing therapists in and out of that time frame. He just got braces, so we can never match up those appointments on the same days, naturally. So just a little bit of background on me. As you can imagine, or as you know anyway, just having a normal child, the schedule is so busy anyway. And then 2 working parents, life is crazy in general. We are very active in our church, and my husband used to be a high school principal. So you can imagine that activity and the people and the relationships that you build through that. But in saying that, I have always wanted, I have kind of dabbled in some direct marketing here and there, some businesses, but I have never really found something that I I've done well with a few businesses, but I haven't really had a lot of growth like I have with Color Street. So how to grow and balance and do it all is challenging, but it can be done with very little mental breakdowns, only a few a day. No, I'm kidding. Not too many, but I will give you some tips on how to budget it all. And I'm not saying I'm a pro, but I will just give you a few little bits and pieces that helps me budget a schedule. I do have a sitter, but she picks the kid where my kids go to school. They don't have after school care. So I do have someone that picks the kids up from 3:30 and gets them to and from and helps me with homework and does that. But there's a lot of times that she is not available. So I do try to work my schedule where if it's a day she's not available, then I have to be back at 3:30 to pick them up. Now that's not very often, but that's one day a week that I have to do that. But my job is not 8 to 5. It is 6 to 6 some days, and some days it is 8 to 5. So, but it's more than a 40-hour work week. So in saying that, every morning, every day, I find some kind of intent. There is intent to get up. So if I have a schedule made out for the day, it makes things better. So my Sundays, there is a monthly, I live by a calendar, and I cannot live by a phone calendar. I have to live by an old school paper calendar. So I highly suggest, if you don't have one, to make a purpose and write everything down on paper. So I also like using an accountability partner. So if you have someone that you can rely on to push you through the day, someone that you can help hold you accountable, that definitely helps. But every morning I try to get up, and the first thing I do is get on a treadmill or get in the gym. So if I can find some kind of schedule to stick by. So if that's not your thing, get up and read your Bible. Get up and have some quiet time. Get up and have bath time, whatever it is. That's how you meditate. Luckily for me, I can have Bible time on my Bible app in the car, or a podcast that I listen to, because I do travel a good bit. So I have plenty of time where I can do all that through the day. But stick to, if I didn't stick to a schedule, and if I didn't put a schedule down on paper, I wouldn't do it. So I would do nothing all day. I would be worthless. So I actually stick to a schedule that I have on paper. So I literally have a to-do list for just about my entire week. So I pre-plan a lot of my posts. And then I try to comment just when people comment back. I'm not going to say I schedule all my posts all week, but I will pre-plan majority of my posts throughout my week. And I will try to do that on Sunday. I am not the party queen. I will say that. My life is just too hectic to plan a bunch of parties. But my goal, I try to set a goal, and I try to have X amount of parties a month. So my goal is to try to have 4 parties this month. So if I don't write that goal down on paper, it's not going to happen. So that's what my challenge is for myself, to try to write down goals and challenges for myself to make things happen. Because if I don't write those down, it's not going to happen. Especially with a busy lifestyle, it will get thrown completely out the window, if that makes sense. And even if your lifestyle is not as busy as what mine is, in the summertime, I do have some downtime. So when the schools are closed, I'm not in the schools. So it's kind of like I do have a teacher's schedule. I am worthless if I don't write anything down. So even in the summers, I do have to attend a few camps and things like that, continuing ed stuff. But if I'm at home and I didn't write something out that day and it's not on my calendar, then I'm more than likely not going to do it. So that's just how I'm driven and how I'm motivated. So if these things are not how you're motivated, then I would suggest finding someone or somebody that can help you find a way that you are driven. I would suggest doing some soul searching on what can help you and what motivates you to be driven. So I would write down some goals and figure out what's going to help you stay on task, what's your end goal and what's your result, or find your why and figure out what your end result is. And I also agree, you said that about whatever number 4 was about, or the lady about pre-selling her kit. That's like genius to me. How she said she really wanted to become a host. But that's the main thing. Like, people felt more comfortable buying from her. That kind of fits all into this. She sold herself. So that's my whole thing in my life with sales. What benefits you from the competitor? And what benefits, you want people to buy not just the product, but you want to sell yourself. So sell yourself as to why you're better than the competitor. And why should someone buy from you and not the other color straight lady? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So you definitely want to sell yourself on your actions and what you're doing and, your overall purpose. So, and I'm not going to lie, if you do have a busy lifestyle, then you do have to, you cannot post and you cannot keep up the schedule on a 7-day, 24-hour basis. So you definitely have to, on the calendar, there is a big X on one day. You have to X out that day and take a day off for yourself. So I don't know if any of that has helped you, but that's the best that I can do that keeps me floating in this whole big circle. And I'm not going to lie, there is probably once every 2 months that I just have a big cry session. And then for about 30 minutes, and then I'm over it. So kind of it is what it is.
Right. I think we all sometimes just get overwhelmed with everything we've got going on. I know I do. And I have really had to learn how to stay organized. And I like for things to be organized, especially as a teacher. I have to have my day planned or it's just chaotic. But with like my personal life and this business, like I've really had to make sure that I write things down, I put it in a calendar, and even like with this Zoom and another call I had scheduled this week, like I got the times mixed up, I got the day mixed up. So that's something that I struggle with sometimes, is staying organized and writing things down. And I'm trying to figure out, I'm in between, do I want to use a calendar app or do I need a paper, like a old-fashioned paper calendar like you were saying? And I feel like I do better with writing it down. But sometimes I notice that I have a calendar sitting right over there, but sometimes I just don't take it out and write it down right away. And so I feel like it's easier to put it in my phone right away. But then, I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out what's working for me. Right now I have everything in my phone. I'm going to try it for a little while. Right. And if it's not working, I'm going to have to change it.
And look, it's totally okay to have both. I even have both. That's how crazy I am. I've got both. So a lot of times when you're booking appointments and parties and things like that, this is all you have right here. And then I'll go back and then I'll put it back in my calendar. So that's totally okay to have both. It's like I try to be modern and in the year 2019, and then I just go right back to the 10-year-old me with a calendar and a Hello Kitty thing, So it is.
The other day, I think it was yesterday, I posted on Facebook, or maybe it was Monday. I don't remember. But I posted on Facebook, what calendar apps do y'all use? Because I don't like the one on my phone. Like, right. I don't like the Apple one. It's just confusing to me. So I downloaded that Time Tree app that we were using with Christy and Sherry before they got away from that.
Got away with it.
And but for personal use, like just for your everyday, I like that better than the Apple calendar. So yeah. I'm trying that right now. So we'll see how it goes. But does anybody else have any questions about sales or parties or anything, we can use some of this time to talk about it. If you've come across any issues. Oops. Anybody? No questions? Well, I think that I love us having this time, even though a lot of people weren't able to get on tonight. I still think like Zooms and being able to talk to each other like this is so important, especially in a smaller group setting like this. Like, you know, I feel like in the beginning, for me, when I first started Color Street, that was my favorite thing about this business was the relationships with these girls I didn't even know. And, you know, at first I knew Christy partly through my boyfriend and her husband, but we didn't have a relationship, you know. And so being able to talk to her and to the other girls on Zoom and through text message and meeting up with them, that was my favorite part about it, all of it. So I think that if we can do this kind of stuff more often, then I think other people would be able to form those relationships, because I want everybody to have that same opportunity. So hopefully we'll be able to do something like this maybe once a month, and come together as a team and be able to connect more. So if y'all don't have any more questions, then we will call it a night. Y'all good? No more questions? All right. Well, thank you, EJ, for all your tips. Lots of notes. I appreciate y'all's time, and thank y'all for getting on. Y'all have a great night. Bye, y'all.